Good afternoon. It is Thursday, December 7th, 12 o'clock. We have a quorum, and I am calling the Bastrop Economic Development Corporation meeting to order. And our interim executive director, you may want to explain to folks that we have an additional member who's online, but the public can't see them, but they are participating online, and that would be Councilmember Lee as one of our directors, and then we are missing a director, but we certainly have a quorum present. Is that accurately stated?
Correct.
Okay. And then we are moving on to item number 2, public comments. Do we have anyone registered for public comments?
No, ma'am, we do not.
Thank you very much. That brings us to regular business. Our first item is item 3A, discuss and possible action on providing the City of Bastrop with a possession and use agreement for the future right-of-way area known as Financial Way. And I will turn it over to Ms. Carrillo.
Thank you. So, Board, this item, you saw this item a few months ago as you gave authorization for staff to issue a notice to proceed after awarding a contract, after taking bids and awarding a contract. Financial Way was supposed to be a very short time period project that was, the EDC has invested approximately $1 million into this particular area. As we moved on, the attorneys raised the issue that the city does not have authorization to issue the notice to proceed because the final plat has not been completed. The plat is what would give that, that area to the city in area known as right-of-way dedication to the city. We could have done this one of two ways. We could have waited until the plat proceeds at the end of the month in December, risking the holidays, a potential non-quorum, a potential of the plat not being prepared. This contractor has been ready to go for some period of time, already has his bonds in place, and is actually costing the contractor holding dollars. He's ready to mobilize, he's ready to get going. This possession and use agreement essentially gives the city authorization, BDC giving the city authorization, and to give the contractor authorization to go ahead and start the work in the area that was designated and designed.
Thank you. When we've gotten PUAs before to do work, that's a pretty standard document.
Yes.
All right.
Both attorneys, both the East attorney and the city attorney have now come to consensus on the actual language of the possession and use agreement.
Board, do you have any further questions regarding the PUA for Financial Way? If not, I'm happy to entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the possession and use agreement.
Second.
All right, I have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Kirkland and a second from Mayor Nelson. And as a board, I don't think we need to take a roll call vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item 3B, consider and act on amending the development agreement with Accutronic LLC by amending the parcel size from 10 acres to 13.84 acres to include a previously not included Lavaca, I hope I'm saying that right, gathering company easement, bringing the total parcel size to convey to 13.84 acres. Ms. Carrillo.
Similar issue. We seem to be running into these issues as the plat begins to move forward and begins to actually get to a point, hopefully, that we're going to finalize this. Initially, the Accutronic plat, which is up on the screen, was 10 acres, which would have left this Lavaca Gathering Company as a separate lot. That separate lot was 3.84. That would have left that 3.4 acres to be in perpetual BEDC maintenance. Easily solved by including that in the Accutronic agreement, where Accutronic has specific rules that are given by this easement on what it can or cannot do on that easement. And then given the fact that Accutronic will be doing some security sensitive work, it didn't make any sense for us to have 3.8 acres behind their building. So this agenda item would allow us to amend that development agreement and finally bring that parcel to closing in the month of January.
And for clarity, my understanding is we don't have a copy of the agreement, so really what we would be doing is we're just saying that we know that we're changing the acreage. And then do we have to have a special motion to make sure that that's approving the agreement? Because it's kind of weird to approve an agreement that we don't have in front
I
of us.
would say yes to approve the amending of the agreement to 13.84 acres and authorizing the chair and the interim director
To
to sign.
execute, the intent
Yes.
is to execute.
Yes.
And so we can do that in the motion with making the phrase that the only thing we're doing is changing
Yes.
the acreage.
And the dollar amount, nothing else is being changed other than the acreage.
Okay. All right, Board, do you have any questions for Ms. Carrillo?
Yes, how does Accutronic feel about this?
They're okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, I'm happy to entertain a motion.
Let's say we get all these correctly. So we're motioning to approve the increase of the acreage from 10 to 13.84, and then also to allow the chair and the interim director to execute an agreement.
Correct.
And there's an agreement that's already executed, right? So this
Yes.
is really just the
An amendment
amendment.
to said
Yes.
agreement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we have a motion. And I have a second from Amber. All in agreement, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. That brings us to item number 4. It is 12:06. I'm happy.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Can I have a second? And it is 12:06, and we are adjourned. Everyone
Thank
have a
you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much for taking the time during your lunch hour, and have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year if we don't see you. Get ready for a heavy January agenda. The January agenda, January 22nd, because of an interference with MLK Day, yes.